Alright, I'm live.
I'm live, Jack.
As Negro.
Guys, I'm
Oh, where are you on?
Yes.
What are you streaming on?
It's on YouTube. If you go to my link
Wait,
in my
it's
Instagram
not just
bio.
on IG Live?
No, it's on YouTube.
Dude, how do you find it on YouTube?
You could go to my Instagram bio and you could hit the Totify link through that, or you could just go for Lift4Life Ambassadors on YouTube.
The video's not available until Friday.
You can hit the Totify link through that, or you can just go for Lift4Life.
They didn't hear our Spanish conversation.
It's meant for it. I don't see it, George.
It says video unavailable.
We're the only person. Can't find it.
Just hit the video unavailable, it'll take you to YouTube.
You guys have already raised your hand as well.
Let me try to do the embedding
There's
thing.
one person watching now. Is that Rossi?
Yeah.
Let me call Shannon.
You may want to mute. Can you mute yourself on there?
Yeah, actually I can mute myself on here. How do I do the embedding thing again?
Go to
You just click on their account. Yeah, and then
Okay,
that link right there. Yeah.
Videos.
You know, leave your people in there.
Can you do it from your computer?
No, because you started the stream already.
Alright, I can't listen to
You just go
something
to
going
edit
on
and
in
then
the
more
room. with these
options,
two
and then you
monkeys.
hit allow group
I don't know
edit.
what to talk about. Like, I don't know.
So let's go to the base YouTube.
No say at law.
I'm gonna go to my videos.
No say hablo.
Que tiempo hace? Is that what you say? What's the weather like?
Yeah, well, I don't remember any weather stuff though. But as
Where is this edit button?
I don't know. How do you say clogging?
It's like if you click on like your live stream itself, there should be an edit button at the bottom.
I haven't had Spanish.
I don't know any weather
I've
stuff.
not had Spanish since sophomore year.
Oh, okay.
What? Wait, what is it? I don't know any weather stuff.
Okay.
Sarah and a star to me.
And then I'm at the edit now. I go to more options.
Yeah, and then click allow.
Allow embedding.
That's so weird because it is Hase.
It said I don't think it's letting me save. Should I go offline and then try?
What? Come over or on?
It won't let me save the embedding.
Maybe it's because you already started the video.
Yeah, let me end the live.
Well, Cosinar is.
Okay, I should be live again.
So Cosina would be.
All right, we're live. This is a COVID-19 relief live stream through Lift4Life. Our goal through this stream is to try to make some money for some various donations that we're going to be giving to communities in Zimbabwe that we've worked with in the past and we're continuing to work with. And today, we're going to be going through a little bit of a chicken, rice, and egg recipe, specifically because we're trying to raise money to open some chicken farms in Zimbabwe and the communities we work with. And we're going to go through some of the nutrition and show you like what the chicken and eggs, the value it has, because powerlifting is super important, the training is super important, but the nutrition and the meal after is just as important. So the first thing I'm going to start with is 2 cups of just plain white rice. We're just going to put it right in the pot. We have 3.5 cups of water that's going to go with this rice. Should create a pretty good texture. We're going to kick this heat up on high. And for about the next 25 minutes, this is just going to work like that. The rice is going to expand and we're going to end up putting it in a pan. Now, starting with our chicken recipe specifically, what I did is I have 3 pounds of chicken and I have it cubed up. If you could see like this. This is a really important step in the chicken recipe. What the cubing is going to do is allow the flavor to come all through the chicken. If you leave it in large breasts, like the middle of the chicken could get like very just bland and dry. Cubing it up is going to allow the moisture to seep all through and you're going to have flavor all throughout your chicken. I'm just going to rock with some ham spray for the pan. And we're going to get our chicken going. Now I'm going to start this chicken out on a low heat. We're just going to get some heat underneath it. We're going to season it in the pan. I've never really seen the point in seasoning it beforehand. Since we cut it up in these cubes, it's not really important that it marinates because all the juices and sauces that we're going to put in it are going to get into it anyway. Now we're starting out and we got a little bit of time on our hands. I want to thank the Strength guys for their $600 donation to Lift4Life. They've been partnered with us since the beginning and they've done great work with us and we love continuing to work with them. And then Calgary Barbell did a live stream and raised $2,600 for this campaign as well. We want to give a huge shout out and thank you to them and everything that they're helping and providing us with. So with this chicken, the first step is going to be yellow mustard. We're going to end up doing around 10 tablespoons of yellow mustard. The yellow mustard's not really for flavor at all. That part of the yellow mustard, it's going to do a couple things. First, it's almost going to act like a glue. So when we put our seasoning on the chicken, it's going to stay on the chicken. It's not going to stick to the bottom of this pan. And also it's going to help us create this bark and this texture on the outside of the chicken that we desire. It's going to give us a little bit of like a tangy and like a fierce flavor as well. But if you're not a fan of yellow mustard, don't worry because you're not going to really taste it. So that goes out to about 10 tablespoons. We're probably going to put a little bit more in once we get the seasoning in, but we're just going to begin to shake this all up, get it mixed in here well. So now that we have the mustard surrounding this chicken, the next step is going to be seasoning. The mustard, like I said before, acts as like this glue. So the seasoning I'm going with today is this Montreal burger and steak rub. So it is a burger and steak rub, but it's really 4 ingredients. It's salt, it's pepper, it's garlic, like a garlic powder, and it's mustard seed. So it creates this really, it's this tangy seasoning, gives it a little bit of spice, a little bit of kick, but it's gonna mix really well with the barbecue that we're gonna use in a little bit, which is one of the main uses it is on like red meat. So we're just gonna continue to wash the rice as well. Make sure it's not sticking to the bottom of the pan. I'm doing 2 cups of rice. This should come out to give us 8 servings of rice. And when I begin to go through the nutrition of everything, I'm making this as a meal for two, so half of this is going to be for one person. It's a pretty big powerlifting meal. It's not, you could eat less than this, but how I'm doing all the nutrition out is for a meal that I'll normally eat. So with this Montreal seasoning in here, now that we have it on the mustard, we're going to be able to stir it up a little bit, get it all around, make sure we reach all the chicken. And then now that we have the mustard and the Montreal on the chicken, we're going to kick the heat up under the chicken to more of a medium heat. Now, I know you probably won't be able to see well for this live stream, but you'll be able to see all the Montreal seasonings sticking to the chicken. I just flipped the chicken over and I'm putting some on the other side now. But all the seasoning sticking to the chicken is going to give us that good flavor, and it's going to create a lot less of a mess on our cleanup. So we're going to let this chicken cook a little bit. This rice is beginning to boil now, so we can turn the heat down a little bit. I turned it down to a medium-high heat of 6 on my stove. But now we're going to talk a little bit about some of the work that Lift4Life is doing. So in Zimbabwe, so the first thing we're trying to do is economic empowerment. This chicken farm is going to help with that. Not only is it going to give valuable nutrition to all the lifters out there, but it's also going to be able to give them a source of income. COVID-19's brought great economic depression to pretty much every country in the world, but it's especially hurt Zimbabwe and other countries in Africa. So the chicken farm is going to give good economic relief to the people there. It's going to give them a source of income without the government having to provide too much. And it's going to give them a good opportunity to start working. We're just stirring this rice up a little bit more now. We have this rice a little bit on a lower heat now. Just continue stirring it up, let the water absorb. Now, we're gonna add the barbecue sauce to the chicken. This is a barbecue chicken recipe that we're doing today. So what I like using is this open pit barbecue sauce. You're gonna use approximately 15 tablespoons. That's about half this bottle. And we're just gonna add it into the chicken. And it's important to not go light on the sauce because we're gonna end up using this sauce after we're done with it, the chicken. And now I'm just stirring the chicken up in the sauce. The mustard's still acting like an adhesive, so it's going to help the barbecue sauce stick. And when the mustard and barbecue sauce mix, it's going to create this really tender and flavorful, it's like sauce for the chicken. And since the chicken's cut up in these cubes, this sauce is going to be able to seep all the way through. And you'll even be able to see, like, when you cut into the chicken, it's going to take on some of that brown color from this barbecue sauce. So while we have all this cooking, the next thing we're going to talk about is some nutrition. So this is a meal that I eat a lot of times after powerlifting. It's a big powerlifting meal, chicken and rice. It's very typical. Overall, this meal is going to consist of the chicken with the barbecue sauce, the mustard, all the seasonings, rice, and a couple eggs that we're going to end up frying up in with the rice. In total, this meal is going to come out to about 675 calories, 45 grams of protein, 84 grams of carbs, and 17.5 grams of fat. So it's a high protein, high carb meal. It's going to get the body back up and running. And it's all going to be able to be provided through rice and everything that the chickens are going to be able to bring to the people in Zimbabwe. And I would like to talk about donations. The point of this live stream is to try to raise some more money for a couple reasons. The first is to get chicken farms out in Zimbabwe. We just got word yesterday of one that's being built. They have 50 chicks there. We plan on getting 50 more chicks out and getting another chicken farm built. On top of that, we're going to be working on community gardens in Zimbabwe, so they're going to be able to get some fresh vegetables out there and fruits. And then we're also going to be working on some more gym equipment, some barbells, some weight sets and stuff like that. If you want to donate, you could do it through the Tiltify, which is going to be linked in my Instagram bio, or you could go to the Lift4Life webpage. You could go to Projects COVID-19 Relief and donate through there. We're just going to stir this rice up again, pretty much constantly stirring it. The rice is starting to absorb the water now. You can see it's pretty much taking the form of rice. It's all expanded. And this chicken's beginning to get a little bit of a boil going to it, soaked in the barbecue sauce. Just turning the chicken around, getting it all cooked well. And the next, and what I think is the most important ingredient that we're going to add to the chicken is brown sugar. So, what brown sugar does, it's my favorite thing to use to cook with meats. Brown sugar is going to give it a glaze. So if you ever hear of anything caramelized, like caramelized bacon, brown sugar is going to go on the meat, and when brown sugar gets heated up, it's going to turn into like a glaze. It's going to give us a sweet flavor. Most importantly, it's going to counteract this hickory barbecue that we're using, and the flavors are going to work really well together. It's going to be about a cup that we're going to put in here. And we're just going to mix it all in. We're going to add a little bit more brown sugar. We're just going to want to get this nice glaze that you're going to be able to see on the meat. And we're going to continuously turn the meat. We're not really cooking this on one side and then another. They're cubed up, so we're going to be just continuously turning the meat, trying to get it even cook on all sides, moving some of the meat to the middle of the pan that's on the outside, just getting a nice, even, thorough cook. We want to make sure our chicken's cooked all the way through. Now, while we're doing this, we're going to take the next step, which is I'm going to fry up a couple eggs real quick. We're just going to scramble them up because they're going to end up in the frying pan with the rice. And this is going to be the second part of the chicken farm. Not only is the chicken going to provide valuable protein for everyone in Zimbabwe, but eggs also provide valuable protein, plus a source of economic help. They can sell the eggs. It's a renewable resource, and it's going to provide income for years, hopefully. We just sprayed the pan, scrambled up the eggs, and throw them in. We're going to put a dash of this Montreal seasoning in with the eggs. Just give them a little flavor. The Montreal is really going to try to bring it out on the meal. Now we have our eggs cooking. We have our chicken cooking. And the rice is looking pretty good. So if we have anyone new to the live stream that missed the beginning part, pretty much what we're doing is a chicken, rice, and egg recipe. It's a barbecue chicken. I cubed the chicken up. We're using yellow mustard. We're using barbecue. We're using a Montreal seasoning. And we're using brown sugar to create this tender and glazy sauce for the chicken to cook in. Since they're all cubed up, it's going to seep in really good through. We have a couple cups of rice cooking. The rice is looking just about done in the pan. We have some eggs cooking that we're going to fry up with the rice in this sauce when the chicken's done. Again, we'd love for any donations. It would all go towards the communities we're working with in Zimbabwe to create chicken farms, community gardens, educational opportunities, and anything else we could help with through the COVID-19 that everyone's struggling with right now. Like I said before, pretty much every country in the world got devastated by this virus, but countries in Africa don't often have the infrastructure to recover like we do, and we're trying to get out there and help and give the community something to work hard towards, giving them something to really look forward to. Our rice is looking just about done, so we're going to kick the heat down on it. We have our chicken in the sauce. It's boiling now. It's starting to cook. This is a little bit of a messy cooking deal. The barbecue sauce will try to get everywhere. We're going to turn the heat down on our chicken a little bit now, because the sauce is beginning to boil and we're starting to see this crust formed on the chicken. While we're here, I want to talk about some more work that Lift4Life is doing with the communities in Zimbabwe. every week we're doing live workout videos, fitness programming through social distancing, where we have some of our ambassadors going live and actually leading workouts that the kids in Zimbabwe can do with them. It's become really successful. It's giving the kids something to do through the pandemic when everyone's quarantined. So it's been a super successful program that we're getting to take on. It's taking big strides, and we're super excited to do that. We're trying to do everything we can to help the community. Also, we're going to be working to help through education. Some of the money we raise, we're going to try to get some books out to Zimbabwe, whatever we could do. We have some connections out there, and pretty much whatever Lift4Life could do, we're trying to do. Any money that we could get from this would be greatly appreciated. And now we're going back to our chicken. We're just going to keep turning it up. We want to make sure it's completely cooked through, but we still want it to be tender. Our eggs are beginning to get cooked up now. We're going to scramble them up. We're just scrambling the eggs up, turning them over. Turn the heat down a little bit on them, just let them simmer. Our rice is looking just about ready. Like I said, we'll go through the nutrition on this meal again. We have chicken, the barbecue sauce, rice, eggs, and some other seasonings we're using. It comes out to 675 calories, 45 grams of protein, 84 carbs, and 17.5 grams of fat. It's a strong, nutritious meal that's all going to be able to be provided through the chicken farms that we're building in Zimbabwe. Our eggs are pretty much fried up now. So we're just going to turn this burner off, let them stay in the warm pan. And we're going to focus our attention on the chicken. Same thing with the rice. The rice is just all about cooked. It's still, you can still see some moisture in there, but for the most part, our rice has become somewhat firm. We have the heat on low on the rice still. Then the chicken's what we're really focusing on now. Again, I would like to thank the Strength guys who donated $600. They've been with Lift4Life from the beginning. I know I thanked them right at the beginning, but if anyone else new joined, we want to thank them for their $600 donation. They've been with us pretty much through the whole time. They've been a huge help to Lift4Life. And then I wanted to thank Calgary Barbell. They donated $2,600 through a live stream they did for us. It's a huge help. Everything that we could get is going to help and go towards the communities in Zimbabwe that we're striving to get better for. Now this chicken's starting to become done. How you're gonna know when the chicken's starting to become done is you're gonna see like striations in the little cubes, and these striations are gonna show that the chicken's starting to be put together. You can see that the sauce is starting to seep through the chicken, and that through the striations, you're gonna see that the chicken's completely colored like this barbecue sauce. Now, with this meal, we're gonna do a little bit of spinach. What the spinach is gonna do, it's gonna be there to cleanse your palate a little bit. This is a strong recipe. It's full of flavor, it's full of tang. The spinach is gonna be there just to counter that act a little bit, give you some green vegetables to give you essential vitamins and minerals, while still giving something that's not too hearty and focusing the heart of the meal on the chicken, the rice, and the eggs. So our chicken's starting to become done here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get some spinach right now. That's all already washed off. Now, a good way to change this meal up, and something I do very often if you want to change up the flavors and not eat a barbecue chicken every time, is first you could exchange barbecue sauce and mustard for soy sauce. Soy sauce goes very good with chicken, it goes very good with the rice. It's still gonna give it that nice flavor. And another thing I like to exchange the barbecue with is some buffalo sauce. So pretty much you could use the same concept and just switch up all the different sauces you're using. And it's still gonna create the same nutritious, hearty meal, just to change it up, give yourself a little bit of different flavor. Now, our chicken's done. It's been on for about 20 minutes now to medium heat. You're gonna be able to see the striations in the chicken meat, which is how we know it's done. So we've plated the chicken, we have the spinach, and now I'm actually gonna make 2 plates because I made 2 servings of this. So I'm gonna plate the rest of this chicken. Ooh, dropped a piece. Again, this is about 3 pounds of chicken I cooked, so about 1.5 pounds per person. That's about 1.5 chicken breasts of the breast I used anyway. And now, with this chicken pan still at a medium heat and the sauce still simmering in this pan, we're gonna add in a serving of the rice. And we're gonna throw in the eggs. And now we're gonna mix this all up in the sauce that we used for the chicken, so we get all those amazing flavors. And the rice and the eggs are both already cooked, so this is more or less just heating it up a little bit, getting it in the sauce to get that flavor. We'll let it sit in here for just about a minute or 2. The flavor will seep into the rice quite quickly. And then this is our final product. I don't want to lose the rice, but so you can see we have spinach, we have our cubed chicken with the striations, and we have the rice and eggs. Super nutritious, super easy meal to cook. The chicken farms we create in Zimbabwe are going to really help us. It's pretty much going to create this meal. All else that's going to be needed is some white rice. And again, thank you everyone for the donations. Thank you to the Strength guys and Calvary Barbell, and everyone have a good day.